Talking with Mr. Floyd. I am theoretically Mr. Floyd. That's my handle on YouTube. My name's Josh, and welcome to the Mr. Floyd Channelings channel. I channel Archangel Raphael and Saint Germain. We do live channelings. We do this Monday through Friday. We also do live channelings tonight. We will be live as well, if you are so inclined, at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. I didn't put it in the title. I just released the video, or the link for the video, the upload there. But it could be a little different tonight. So if you are watching this, there could be, and you may get a preview this morning, you may not, but there could be some differences tonight that you might see. And also next week, Ziggy, welcome. Hi. I'm Ziggy. That's awesome. I'm going to stop at, there's a coffee shop called Ziggy's near my crystal shop that I work at. So I'm going to stop at Ziggy's and get a cup of coffee, as I want to make a whole pot of press pot coffee on the way to work. So that's awesome. I love Ziggy. That's awesome. So there's so there may be some changes next week. We're doing the Saint Germain interviews. We're starting that. So, well, Saint Germain, not myself, but myself as Saint Germain. We'll be interviewing Adam from the Medium channel. We'll also be doing live mediumship there as well, and other things. If you know anybody on YouTube that would be a good guest for the Saint Germain interviews, send information to Mr. Floyd Channelings at gmail.com. But working on flipping Tuesday nights ever so slowly and one step at a time to the Mr. Floyd, or the Saint Germain interviews. There we go. So, but tonight may be a little bit different. We've had a couple of things change around here, as one in the chat might know. But there are some things that different. Things change, right? Positively, of course. Today we're going to kind of do this in a more rapid succession, once a week for now. And it's not to sacrifice my channel or anything, but we're going to bomb John Binney. We did it last week. We're going to bomb John on Tuesday this week. Most probably Tuesdays, because I work at 10 on Tuesday, so it makes it easier to wrap up at 9. And then on Thursdays, I don't work till 4 o'clock. So, so Tuesdays for now, we're going to, as a group, whoever wants to join in, of course, you're obligated nothing of your own universe, of course. But at 9 o'clock, we're going to migrate. I'll be there like 2 minutes after, because I got to flip this from public or private to public, and I want to read, and then I'll jump over to John, and then I can redo the title screen and stuff. Or the YouTube thumbnail. So from this end, I'm going to cut this off about 9. Millie gratefully will put in a link to John, and somewhere about 8:55-ish, and we'll jump over to John's channel. And, even if it's 2 or 3 of us who go over there, it's more than he didn't have before. And so show him some support there. So that's what we've got. Let's see what we got in the chat here. The Silent Sniper. Does the nose and mustache come off with the glasses? Har. We're going to leave that comment where it stands. All right. Blessings. Hi, Fatima. Blessings. Good dawning. Ziggy, good dawning. Millie, Lean or Henny, good dawning. Laura, Yannix or Yanksy. All right. Welcome to everyone there. And hey, you know what? We all got to have some sort of look, right? It's an avatar. I don't hold myself to it, and I don't hold anything to it. It's just an avatar. I'm not my avatar, and I don't care. So you could say anything about my avatar. It doesn't matter, because I know. Once you know you're not your avatar, like, certain disses don't matter anymore. You could diss anything you want about my looks. It's just an avatar. I'm not the avatar. If I was attached to my avatar, then I'd care. So that's one way to look at things in your universe. If somebody's like, "Oh, you are ugly," it's like, no, I'm not the ugliness that you think my body is, because I'm sourced inside it. I love you. Have a nice day. And you could really throw somebody off that way. You could probably piss somebody off if you're not careful too, because they're trying to diss you and you're just like, whatever, and rolling it off. Maybe that person needs a hug. Generally speaking, you're absolutely correct, Fatima. Fatima, I'm sorry. Most people who are looking, there's a big hole in your heart if you're throwing that kind of dissed energy out into the universe. Yeah, you're looking for attention, for one, because you're screaming something weird into a chat. And yeah, you've got a big hole in your heart because you're not you're not in love. You're not in sync with what you're watching. You're standing there with anti-energy. So if you're watching something but you're an anti-energy to it, then why are you watching it? You're most likely attracted to it, but you're scared or something through throwing up negative energies. It's like those who, I'm going to state this, gay bash. You're generally probably homophobic. If you're homophobic, you might have homosexual tendencies, but you act homophobic as a fear to block it. It's just that kind of same energy. Not to say you are or aren't, but that's what we're getting. So what we're going to do, and now I'm going to ask anybody in the chat, Bonnie, good dawning. And I saw your email there, Bonnie. I will reply to that today. But as far as, or this evening after work. But either way, as far as cord cutting, I'm going to ask in the chat there, is there any specifics? Joyce, send healing. Okay, we are sending healing to Joyce. Bonnie, if you're traveling, or you're traveling, Bonnie, I'm driving, crawling on traffic, so I'm looking favor, Bonnie. Favor to the traffic and yourself within it, for sure. Anybody have anything cords they want to specifically cut? Because we're going to do another cord cutting. Is there any energies of any type that we may, Angela, good dawning, that we would want to cut? We can put that in the chat, and we will use that as today's template for cord cutting. If not, then we can certainly cut. There's lots of ideas that we could come up with to cut cords. But if there's anything specific you're looking to cut, we can certainly throw that in the chat there, and we will cut that. Otherwise, I will, Saint Germain, something will land in my universe, and we'll figure out something to cut. If you have nothing better to do than write negative stuff in other people's chat rooms, I would say you need a psychiatrist. This is probably true. Cutting trust issues. Oh, perfect. There we go. All right. So if there's any issue, perfect, Angela. That is what we're going to cut today. So we're going to use trust as our cord cutting today. So if there's any situations or people that we have trust issues with, if there are any institutions that we might have trust issues with, if you have trust issues with yourself, you can cut cords against yourself as well. You have looping cords that come out and come back in, where you are looping your patterns or yourself. My face is getting a little, where you're looping your patterns or yourself. So you are when you loop yourself, you're in looping cords as well. So cords of abandonment. Okay, we can put that in there as well. So we're going to do trust and abandonment. If there's anybody, and trust and abandonment go kind of hand in hand. If you're abandoned, then you are going to lack trust for sure. And if you have trust issues, you certainly could have those trust issues based on abandonment or any other different reasons there. But a larger than that portion of the generalized traumas that you see on planet Earth comes specifically from abandonment and trust issues, straight up. So from our end, then we're going to close our eyes. You don't have to. It's up to you. We're going to imagine in our universe, and they're going to come up fast. If you say trust issues in your heart, instantly there's going to be people who show up in your third eye, so to speak. You're going to visualize them. You're going to see their names. You're going to be like Fred, Bob, Fran from the water cooler. She's always talking to your boss behind your back about you or your TPS reports. I don't know. So, and I don't know where Fran comes from, but nonetheless. So if there's people you have trust issues in your universe, all you got to do is put your hand on your heart and say, who do I distrust in my universe? Your mind will show you. Your body will show you. If you have abandonment issues, if your parents didn't take care of you, they left you with a babysitter. If you have friends who abandoned you in the middle of you at the movies and you turn and they like, whatever it is, in your universe, if you have somebody that you have an issue with abandonment, all you have to do is say, these are real easy things to do. Who in my universe do I have issues with abandonment? If you let go, your body will tell you. So you let go. Let's see who comes up into your universe. We're going to take 3 minutes here in generalized silence, and we're going to cut those cords. So from your end, I can't tell you who's in your universe. We're cutting issues with abandonment or trust. So you have to bring those people into your frame. They're already there. The energies are already in your frame. You have to focus on those energies, and then you can cut those cords. So from this end, then on your end, focus on whom you would want to cut as far as abandonment and trust, and they're probably a lot of them the same people. So we'll take a moment and focus on that. For myself, it's easy. I can go right to my mother for abandonment and trust, and I'm going to cut that cord. So for me, my mom, I'm cutting the cord from my mom. You can also write abandonment and trust on a chalkboard in your third eye, and your vision, you can visualize it. Write whomever you are, for Josh, his mom, and then you erase it. Erasing Audrey from the chalkboard. So cutting those negative chords by erasing her name from the chalkboard of abandonment and trust issues. And it's gone. So we are cutting cords from those we don't trust. Maybe you had a terrible employer, like Josh did, who kind of he could have probably had a lawsuit for unrightful employment. So we cut those cords. Chunk, chunk. Maybe you had a babysitter, you were abandoned, and you resent this babysitter you had to be with. Josh had one. We cut that cord. Chunk, chunk. All right. Cord cutting also, this is something you can do throughout the day. So if you are getting an issue with somebody, if you walk in and you are with Fran at the water cooler and she's yelling at you or saying something that you don't want to hear, walk away and say, I'm cutting the cords with Fran. And of course, if you're at work, you don't have to physically move your arms, but you could see yourself cutting the cord. Or you could throw Fran up on the chalkboard and do that. Or you can write Fran on a piece of paper and then ball it up. Throw it away. You're not getting rid of Fran. You could just say Fran and all of her negative energies underneath it, and then ball it up and throw it away. I think you're getting the idea here. Good dotting, Vivian. How are you doing? We're going to dive from here, just as a heads up, and we're going to go over to John Binney from here at 9 o'clock. So we're going to call on Archangel. It's 8:44 on my end. So welcome all. So I'm going to call on Archangel Raphael and Saint Germain. We're going to do a quick channeling. And again, we're going to channel live again tonight at 7 o'clock. And you may see a little bit something here, but you're definitely going to see something different tonight, for sure. We've had a little bit of a breakthrough. You use a channel, you go on different levels, and so things can shift when you channel, and we'll see what happens here. But nonetheless, let's call on Archangel Raphael and Saint Germain. If you've not watched me, I'm a semi-conscious channeler. My eyes generally are closed, although that may not always be the case anymore, and we'll see what happens here. But yeah, so if I reach out for a glass of water or look at the phone, I'm looking at the time. And in this case, Saint Germain knows the time better than I do, so I'm sure he'll stop at like 57 or something. But so let's go ahead then, and I'm gonna center down, bring myself in. I count down to 5 to kind of bring my body into channeling. It's not absolutely necessary if I'm just discussing something on my own with Saint Germain or channeling for a quick second. I don't need to do that, but for a longer channel, it's helpful. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good dawning, and welcome to Good Dawning with Mr. Floyd. You're channeling. We are Archangel Raphael and Saint Germain. We are channeling through Josh for you, to you today. We say that generally the same every day, and we say that too. So you understand, it is us. We are channeling through Josh. And look, his eyes are open. He is working to channel with his eyes open. It's not as easy during the daylight, and he has his blinds open. But nonetheless, we are working to do something different, like he is channeling with his eyes open. But he's probably going to close them here and there because it is not the easiest for him. In the dark, it's a lot easier. But so tonight, but there'll be light, but we'll close the blinds. But you will see he can channel more or less with his eyes open now and not channel with his eyes closed. And he could get up and walk around, and you could see he's reaching out for the water, looking at his clock, seeing it is 8:45. And so there's a lot of changes. We have been working with him because if you are going to channel, and we want you to channel not just on YouTube in the corner of his bedroom, or his living room, so to speak, his one room in the giant room in the apartment, because it is only a 2-room apartment. Well, the kitchen, the bedroom, and the living room. But nonetheless, so from your end, you are seeing him channel with his eyes open because he can get up now and walk around, and he's more animated. So it is going to take practice because he wants to squint his eyes. And if he's really squinting his eyes, is better than leaving them completely closed. So from this end, you are going to see that. And as well, you might see other channelings come in. Last night, for example, Josh was able to, and we are going to state this, and whether we don't have any recording or anything, but he was able to channel Archangel Michael last night as well. But if you are channeling and you have channeled Saint Germain, your energies are going to match. Saint Germain is not going to match you up with himself with anybody who's not going to energetically match with Saint Germain. So for Josh, when he was channeling Saint Germain, it's easy. It's the same energetic match. There's no problem with his energies, the heart. You are hearing how if you watch like Next Level Soul, and there's lots of channeling on the Next Level Soul, he'll talk about how do you channel and what are you feeling? And it's always, Alex is always talking how you feel it in your heart, your energies, and it could be very powerful for your heart. And so for Josh, when he was channeling Archangel Michael last night, it almost blew up his heart. It's very strenuous when you are channeling larger energies. If you're channeling Archangel Michael, that is the largest energy pretty much you can channel. It's the grand. You know who Archangel Michael is. We are not going to say who he is. If you don't understand, then you need to go to your Wikipedia, so to speak. But for Josh, he was channeling Archangel Michael, and it almost blew out his heart. You can still feel it right here on the top of his heart. Whew, the energies were intense. He had to call on his dragons and other energies to block the energy from Archangel Michael. He could have had a heart attack. We are not joking on these things. These are intense energies that you are pushing through. So there's not going to be any channeling through Josh from Archangel Michael. We are sorry about that. If you want a channeling from Archangel Michael, you can write it out. We could do it by text over the phone. We can do all kinds of different things, but you are never going to see Josh sit here on YouTube unless his heart is getting really strong. Archangel Michael can dial it down, which he cannot do. It's his energy. So some people are not a frequency match to channel Archangel Michael, because if you channel him directly as a direct voice channel, you are taking all of that source energy from Archangel Michael, and you could blow out your heart. You could blow out your nervous system, or you could just keel over. You could explode, theoretically, not literally, but your heart could go poof. That's a lot of energy. And so for Josh, we are not ever going to put him through that. We are going to make sure Saint Germain is, because we are not trying to kill the test subject, so to speak. Ha, ha, ha. That would be terrible. He has channelings. What happened to Josh? He lied. He is channeling Archangel Michael, and his heart exploded. So we're not having that happen. But nonetheless, he did channel Archangel Michael. And if you are interested, we will set something up where you want to talk to Archangel Michael. We could do it by text, for example, and Archangel Michael can come through. That way, it's not as much energy. Or we could have something like handwritten, like you are downloading and writing at the automatic writing. We could do that as well, and he has done that with Archangel Michael now since last night. But we are not at all going to have any direct channeling. But there are others who might have come through as well last night. We are going to see if they are going to come through in the future, like Sekhmet, for example. She had come through last night. Isis. Josh is channeling with Isis and Sekhmet as well. We had never expected him to be just a single channel for Saint Germain. That is never was our intention as well. It's our grand intention, of course, for Josh to use Saint Germain, and for Saint Germain to use Josh to get his energies out to how to build your universe. We saw Josh was floundering in his universe, but open as a channel, and sat there and said he would be a great open channel. So we took him up on that offer when he was watching Terra, and he said, "Oh, I could do that. I could be an open channel. I feel it." And so we took him up on that offer. We will take you up on your offer if you are slowed down enough, if you want to channel. There's one in the audience who has been offered to channel as well. It is up to them if they want to take the offer to do the channeling or not. But you have to slow down in your universe. And it takes a refocus. Sometimes you have to refocus on what you are doing throughout your day in order to get to where you want to be. But we leave all that alone. But if you watch tonight, you might see a different bit of channel. We are not saying that you have to. Josh has always happened to channel myself as Saint Germain. We have let Josh be as an open channel. And if he is ready, then there's other channelings that could come through. You're not going to lose his message. And each good dawning, nonetheless, is going to be with Saint Germain, because it is Saint Germain's intention to utilize Josh during the dawning, especially to help you to get a better day, to help you to cut those cords like you did today with those who you have abandonment issues or trust issues. Generally, if you are having a trust issue, your abandonment could be wrapped up in the same person for sure, like Josh's mother. He cannot trust his mother as far as he would throw her, but he could probably throw her pretty far because she was pretty thin, but nonetheless, so to speak. But he would not trust her with anything in his universe, not even to watch his house, because she was never shown to be trustworthy. And then, of course, she's always been the abandonment issue for him in his universe, one of the grand abandonment issues. So there you go. They can tie together just as well, like when you're doing your card cutting this morning. And your card cutting, keep this in mind, does not always have to be just in the dawning. You need to learn to cut those cards immediately. You're at work. We are going to state this and shift out of what Josh is doing or not doing to you. And if you are finding that your cards are getting tangled up during your day, cut your cards. It's real simple. This exercise that we have been doing, the card cutting, it's not specific that you have to do it and we're trying the eyes open again. It's not specific we're going to take longer and longer with the eyes open and less with the eyes closed for Josh. But it is energy. He is feeling that and it hurts his eyes. It is not a joke. You can feel it. It is like when you are like extraordinarily tired and you try to drive and your eyes are getting sinky. That is what he is feeling. But nonetheless, he is walking through that because we want him to stay open because eventually if you're walking around, then but you can also do this too. You could channel and drink water. Or if he was eating a bagel, there'd be no difference. He could eat a bagel or something, piece of pizza, and channel at the same time. There's no difference. The difference is in your mind. You are thinking that is too much, but it is not. Any channeler, well, not any channeler, but if you are, depending on how you channel, if you are drinking water, then there's no difference between that or eating a slice of pizza while you are trying to channel. But what we are saying here, though, is if you are in your universe and there are energies in your universe that are driving you nuts, if you're at the water cooler in your universe and there is a friend energy in your universe, we're not saying friend directly, but a friend type energy in your universe, when you are just trying to go to the water cooler and hang out and be off of work for 15 minutes on your break, if you get spun up by somebody at your water cooler, you go back to work, do your exercises, write out their name, put it on a piece of paper, write out, they are frustrating me, they have frustrated me on a piece of paper, ball it up, cutting the card, throw it away. Put it in the recycling bin, whatever you do. Shred it up, rip it up. Unless you're in a really quiet office and people will be like, why are you all tearing a paper? The office is like that, where if you make any noise, people will turn around and look at you like you have lost your mind. But if you're in that office, then don't ball it up either. We will do the chalkboard exercise in your head. Fran keeps talking about her children. I'm cutting that card. You want to talk negatively about your children, Fran, you can do so, but not in my universe. I release those energies. Erased from the chalkboard. Fran and her children's negative talk about her children. You don't want to carry that home, so you are erasing that. You don't want to get in the car, in your car universe, when you can leave your universe of work behind. And the energies that you carry at work behind when you get in your car and you're like, I am free from work. I am centered, I am free, I am excited because I am driving home from work. When you get to that space, you don't want to be in those energies of Fran at the water cooler. That is why you cut the cards. As your universe, good dawning, Stony. We can read the chat as we are typing now because Josh can channel with his eyes open. So from your end, if you are in your universe needing to cut the card, do it immediately. Do not carry those energies forward in your day. This is really simple, and it's a simple thing. If you have somebody who cuts you off while you are driving in your car, you have the souped up Honda Civic that drives by with the really loud buzzing motor, and they have the exhaust that sounds like they are going to explode, right? And they drive by at 99 miles an hour, and the speed limit is 50, and they are driving by, zing, and they cut you off, right into your lane, and you slam on the brakes, and like, what was that? And then, they are gone. You can sit in the energy of that crazy Honda Civic and that crazy driver, and I hope they don't get killed, and you could do that for 20 minutes. Or you can go, great for that's gone. I'm cutting the cord from that crazy ass energy. Erase the Honda Civic from my universe. I'm cutting that cord. I'm not going to worry about it. Pull the energy away. Whatever you choose to do, but you are not absorbing it. I push that energy away. You could do that too. It's all about however works for you in energetics. Energetics is specific to the person. So from your end, what can you do in your universe then when that happens immediately? Or if you're at the water cooler and you are getting loops from Fran about her children, and Fran, I heard about your child yesterday. If you want to sit here continuously berating your child verbally in front of me behind their back, I'm not going to stand for this energy. You wouldn't say Fran that. Well, you could if you depending on your relationship with Fran. But at work, you probably don't want to create that kind of distress in your relationships. So you will look at Fran and say, I love you. When you walk away from Fran, I'm cutting the cord from all of that heavy-ass energy from Fran and her child. We are releasing that, and I'm cutting it from me. Or if you're at your desk, Fran, Children, how annoying. I'm not needing that energy in my universe. And you can acknowledge if it's annoying energy. If it's annoying you, it's annoying you. You are allowed to feel that. Erase. Goodbye, friends. Negative energies. My deck is cleared. I erased the chalkboard, so to speak. You could sweep her away. Put Fran, write Fran in chalk on the sidewalk and sweep Fran away. You are getting the idea. We're not going to go much longer because we were wanting to bomb John Binney today. On Tuesdays for now, we're going to bomb John Binney because he is trying to build his universe financially. Josh is about to go to work, so he's good. But for John Binney, but eventually he's going to do this on his own. You see his eyes are open for a reason because we need to teach him to be alive, so to speak. Open eye channeling. There you go. So then he can get up and walk around like Bashar. And then we are channeling. Saint Germain is channeling through Josh, but he is walking around. He is alive. See, he stand up and then in his universe. So for here, we are going to end this transmission. We are Archangel Raphael and Saint Germain, and we have channeled, and we are going to end this transmission right now and cut it kind of short so that we can be in John. But we are going to give it a few more minutes because it's not 9 o'clock yet, and he does not usually jump right on, so to speak. We don't need to be sitting there waiting for him either. The idea is if he is just starting and we start to pile in, he will see all of us show up into his chat. And that is a good feeling. Imagine if you are sitting there, you are brand new, and you are like, oh, my universe is slightly dependent upon how this is going to work out. Not really. I mean, he's throwing things to the wall and seeing what is sticking to create his own universe, just like Josh did with Good Darling with Mr. Floyd. It is working out for him. He is now channeling and he is doing good. So for John, he is doing the same thing. He's sticking his to the wall. So it is nice when you are sitting there in your universe and you see 3, 4, 5 people, poof, automatically just drop right in. You're going, wow, something is happening. And so we want to do that. We want to do that. So from this end, then we are going to drop off. It's about 9 o'clock. It's good enough. So we are going to drop off. We're going to end this transmission here first. So we are ending transmission. There we go. Okay. So now we're going to go and shift. Everybody is going to shift, and we've got like a minute anyways. It's about perfect. We're going to shift over to John's here. And remember, in your universe there, if you have a Fran in your day or some negative Nilly in your universe, just cut the cord. Immediate. Once you are, walk away from them. Don't hold the resonant energy. Just erase them. You're not erasing that cord. You're not erasing the attachment. You want to cut the attachment to them completely. You can do that. I would call on Archangel Michael to remove the energetics of the person completely from my universe at that point. But if you just want to clear the negative conversation that you had with that person, just be like, I'm erasing that negativity. I don't need it. I love you, friend. I'm erasing it. And clear it. You could also, here's another one real quick. You could also scream out, all right, I removed the negative conversation I had from Fran from my Akashic record. Doesn't exist anymore. You're reaching into your timeline and reaching it out of the timeline. So in my Akashic record, the negative conversation I just had with Fran is not there. It never happened. Try that. Now you're playing in time. All right. I love you. Stay awesome. The link for John Benny is in the chat. It's just a few slides down. And I'm going to end this here, and I will see you over there. Stay awesome. Stay beautiful. Hopefully, see you guys tonight in the Tuesday night live with possibly new channeling. And we'll see you then.